The countdown to Thanksgiving is underway, and many students are packing their bags as they prepare to head home for the holiday. Coming up, we'll show you how one campus group celebrated a little early to bring together students from across campus with flavors from around the world.
Texas Tech gives back to the local community in a variety of ways, including an annual campaign to help raise money for local charities. Find out how one college found a creative way for the Tech community to give back while enjoying some tasty treats.
And Texas Tech football, soccer, volleyball, and both basketball teams are gearing up for competition this weekend, with at least 4 games happening here on campus before Saturday night. MCTV's Trinity Boudreaux will have a look at all the upcoming action in sports.
This is the MCTV Weekday Update.
Welcome to the Thursday edition of the MCTV Weekday Update. I'm Noah Crayton.
And I'm Elene Khajishvili. Thanksgiving is exactly 1 week away, but for some students, the break is just about to start.
The last day of class before the holiday is next Tuesday, but with many Red Raiders hitting the road this weekend, this week's campus calendar stayed busy. Earlier today, the Office of Intercultural Education and Engagement hosted an Intercultural Friendsgiving event at the Student Enrichment Center. Students from across campus were invited to stop by and enjoy a collection of foods from different cultures and countries around the world. Attendees could load up a plate and then sit down to enjoy the company of friends or meet someone new.
We have a lot of different food options, like some that cater to the Afro-American. We also cater to the Mexican-American or just Mexican in general. And then we have like Jamaican beef patties and stuff like that. So it's just a lot of different food options to give to the people.
Intercultural Friendsgiving has become a new tradition here on campus, with it being held each year during the week before Thanksgiving. The Office of Intercultural Education and Engagement also held another event yesterday, giving students the chance to create a calming bottle that they could use as they get ready for finals.
Each year here on campus, the State Employee Charitable Campaign raises money to give back the local community. Colleges and departments are always looking for new ways to fundraise for the SECC, and this year is no exception. On Wednesday, the Davis College of Agricultural Sciences and Natural Resources held a first event SECC Bake-Off fundraiser. Students, faculty, and staff were invited to enter their creations in one of 4 categories: cakes, cookies, gluten-free, and other. Competitors paid $10 to enter one category or $20 for multiple categories, and then brought the baked goods to the first floor of the dairy barn on Wednesday morning. Members of the entire campus community were then invited to stop by and pay $1 to sample 4 different treats, or $2 for an entire serving. After eating, attendees were able to cast their vote for their favorite baked creation. This year's Bake-Off was the first time the Davis College has held a baking competition as a fundraiser, but organizers hope to continue the event in the future.
For many people, Thanksgiving marks the official start of the holiday season. But here in Lubbock, a different annual event has become a tradition for many local residents to kick off the most joyful time of the year. The doors to the 43rd annual holiday happening opened last night at the Lubbock Memorial Civic Center. Shoppers stopped by from 5 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. for a sneak peek of thousands of items available from more than 130 vendors attending the 5-day event. Many of the booths featured holiday-themed items and gifts, along with food, drinks, and much more. Last night's sneak peek included hors d'oeuvres, a cash bar, and a special performance from the Texas Tech Jazz Ensemble. Holiday Happening continues through this weekend with additional events such as lunch-style shows, a breakfast with Santa, and a benefit drawing featuring designer purses from Louis Vuitton and Gucci. The 2023 Holiday Happening event is open today through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. and Sunday from noon to 5. Tickets are $12 online and $15 at the door, but there are additional charges for the special events. For more information, visit jllubbock.com. Fall weather has finally set in across the South Plains. Mild temperatures and lots of clouds have been the norm since the weekend, and highs have been much cooler this week.
The mornings have also been pretty cool, and there's been a lot of moisture in the air, leading to a somewhat uncommon occurrence here in the Hub City. This is a time-lapse from this morning as fog covered the campus. Students heading to class or commuting to work may have had some difficulty driving before 8 a.m., with visibility down to a quarter mile or less in some areas. This is the 4th day that some level of fog has been seen around the area. Occasional fog is not unusual in Lubbock, but it is uncommon to wake up to a foggy morning several days in a row. Luckily, with daylight savings time ending earlier this month, the fog usually disappears by the time most students head to class.
After the fog lifted this morning, temperatures began to rise, and it's already been a bit warmer than the last few days. But will the warmer conditions stick around as we head into the weekend? MCTV's weather specialist Elisabeth Herring joins us with a look at the forecast. Elizabeth?
Yes, so taking a look out at our MCTV tower cam, you can definitely see there are still some clouds hanging around in the area. We saw quite a cloudy day yesterday, and we did have some heavy fog this morning. Students will be traveling home for Thanksgiving break this weekend and early next week, and it looks like we will have some great weather for that. Except on Saturday evening, we will see some rain move through the area, and that will continue into Sunday morning. So if you are heading to Dallas or Waco, just be aware that you could definitely see some rainfall on your commute. It looks like by Sunday evening that rain will have moved out, and we'll see some heavy winds in the area up by Amarillo and even into New Mexico. So just be aware if you are traveling on the roads that there will be some high winds. However, on Tuesday, it looks like we will be all clear, and it will be a beautiful day for travel. Here in the South Plains, the highs today will mostly be in the 70s, for Riona seeing 76 degrees. Definitely some warm weather, however, we will see a cool off by next week. Lows in the area are mostly going to stay in the 50s and 40s. We won't see any freezing weather and no rain tonight. Here locally in Lubbock, we have a low of 50 degrees with some partly cloudy skies and calm wind. Tomorrow, high of 68 degrees with sunny skies, partly and some calm wind throughout the area. Again, no chances of rain. And looking at Saturday, if you're staying here in town, Texas Tech is holding its last home football game of the season against UCF, and that will begin at 4 p.m. At the start of the game, we'll see 62 degrees, halftime 60, end of the game 57 degrees. Definitely some chilly weather, a good idea to bring a jacket, but it will be a beautiful evening for football. Looking at the end of the weekend, we will see a little bit of a warm-up Sunday, high of 71. However, looking at next week, we are going to cool down again. Monday, we have a high of 54. Tuesday, 56. Wednesday, warming up a bit with a high of 62. Tuesday and Wednesday, we will see some beautiful sunny weather. On Thursday morning, the day of Thanksgiving, we could potentially see a freeze with a low of 32 degrees. However, we will warm up throughout the day with a high of 58 and some sunny skies. I hope everyone has a wonderful Thanksgiving, and if you are traveling on the roads, stay safe. I'm Elizabeth, and it's back to y'all.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Red Raider football isn't the only team in action this weekend. In fact, another busy weekend for Tech Athletics starts tonight, right here on campus.
MCTV's Trinity Boudreaux joins us now in the studio with a rundown of the full schedule in sports. Trinity?
Thank you, Noah and Elaine. Texas Tech Athletics has a jam-packed schedule this coming weekend, featuring 2 volleyball games, 1 basketball game, a soccer game, and a football game. Let's start with Texas Tech soccer. The Red Raiders soccer team season is still going on. Participating in the NCAA tournament, the Red Raiders currently stand at 16-1-4 overall and 8-0-2 in conference play in the NCAA tournament. The Red Raiders are 1-0 with a win over Florida Gulf Coast 1-0 with a goal by Alex Kerr. Coming up, number 2 seed Texas Tech will host number 7 Princeton at the John Walker Soccer Complex tomorrow night at 7 p.m. for round 2 of the NCAA tournament. Going into round 2, hopes are high for the Red Raiders, as back in 2018 the Red Raiders hosted the Tigers and the match ended with a 3-0 Tech win. Basketball season is underway. The Texas Tech Red Raider basketball team is starting off this preseason with a 3-0 record with wins against Texas A&M, Texas A&M Commerce, and San Jose State. Pop Isaacs leads the team in points with 27, and Warren Washington leads in rebounds with 17 total. Next up, the Red Raiders will be hosting Texas A&M Corpus Christi at the United Supermarkets Arena tonight with the tip-off at 7 p.m. The Lady Raider basketball team is also 3-0 this preseason with wins against UT, Rio Grande Valley, Tarleton, and Lamar. Jasmine Shavers is leading the team in points with 53, and Kyla Freelon leads in rebounds with 22. Up next, the Lady Raiders will host Texas A&M Commerce at the United Supermarkets Arena tomorrow night at 6 p.m. The Texas Tech volleyball team put an end to their 11-game losing streak last week, putting up 2 wins against West Virginia here in Lubbock. The Red Raiders took win 1 with a sweep and win 2 in a 5-set thriller. Next up, the Red Raiders will go on the road to Manhattan, Kansas to go up against the Kansas State Wildcats. Game 1 will be tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. and Game 2 will be Saturday at 3 p.m. Finally, Texas Tech will host its last football game this season this Saturday. The Red Raiders are on a 2-game winning streak with big wins over TCU and Kansas State. The Red Raiders are standing at 5-5 overall and 4-3 in conference play. Texas Tech will host the University of Central Florida, who stands at 5-5 overall and 2-5 in the Big 12 Conference. The game will be Saturday afternoon with a kickoff at 4 p.m. at Jones AT&T. That's all for Texas Tech sports. Now back to you, Noah and Elena.
Thanks, Trinity. So, Elene, are you heading home for the weekend?
I'm staying in Lubbock. What about you?
I think I'm gonna head home to Dallas, just see my family and just relax, really take the break. But that's all for today's edition of the MCTV Weekday Update.
Thanks so much for joining us, and be sure to check ttuhub.net every day for more news. We'll see you next week.